Hi, hello, namaste. My name is Abhishek Pathak. This is MVC Part 7. In this topic, I will cover three important topics. First one is understanding the RouteConfig and Global.asax. Second is create controller action and view with model. Third one is MVC interview question. So let's move to first important topic, that is understanding the RouteConfig and Global.asax. So what is RouteConfig? This file maintains the details of routing for MVC. In each MVC application, it is must to have at least one route. This file defines the routing for MVC. We can also create custom routing. As you can see in this image, we have one method. The method name is RegisterRoutes. This is a static method, and in this method we have written some code. So routes.IgnoreRoute method, what it does, it ignores the particular routing. Why? Because by default MVC works on URL pattern, and if you see below routes.map_route, here we have some URL pattern. So it must, if we want to access any particular view in MVC, what we have to do, we have to write the controller then in its index name. But if you want to skip or we want to ignore particular file extension, then we can use routes.IgnoreRoute. Here we have one .axd file. axd file is a tracing file. It is tracing file has extension trace.axd. Tracing file are used to trace the incoming, outgoing, or tracing for our application. By default, this is not enabled in web.config. If we want, we can enable this trace file. And how we can enable this, I'll show you how we can enable in a web.config file. Okay, so now let's move to Visual Studio. This is the same application which we were earlier seeing. So if you have not watched earlier video, I'll strongly recommend you to watch earlier videos, because I have explained the folder structure, different folder structure in MVC, and what are the use of those folders. Okay, so let's expand this app underscore start. Here you can see one file, RouteConfig.cs. This file is important for routing. So here we have one class RouteConfig. Here we have static method. The method name is RegisterRoutes, and this is the code which I was referring in that image. Here axd is trace.axd, this trace.axd, and this is your route name. Default is a route name. This is URL pattern. Here home is a controller, index is action, and ID is parameter, and this ID parameter is optional. Okay, yeah. So I was saying, if we want to enable the trace.axt, how we can enable in web.config. Under system.web we have this trace enable true and page output false. So false. Okay, so now we have enabled the tracing. We will see how we can see the tracing in MVC. Before that, let's do one thing. Go to RouteConfig.cs. Let's comment this line and see if we can access the trace.axd in browser. Press F5. Now our application is running. So what is the first view which we have set in routing? Controller is action, sorry, controller is home, and action is index. So we have got one controller here. Okay, it's giving me error. Let's remove this invalid one. Yeah, let's build the application. Shortcut is Ctrl Shift B. Okay, build is successful. Okay, so I was saying in controller we have one controller folder, we have one controller, and controller name is home, and index is an action. Let's run the application now. Close others. Okay, so our application is running. First, what it will do, it will check the routing, and it will find this home and index. Then it will go to this home controller. Then under this home controller, it is going to search the index, and index, what we have written view. So by default it is going to search the index view. Okay, now it's available. So this local dot host local, by default, since we have mapped our page here, it access the this home dot index. Let's go to this home dot this index. As you can see here, we have this details. Okay, now let's do one thing. let's create one let's create one more action here. Public action result details. Okay, here let's write written view. Okay, so now let's delete this action from here. Now if you want to create the view for this action, what you have to do, right click and say add view. If you want to verify if particular view exists or not, go to view. Okay, this already exists, so let's do one thing. Let's delete this. Okay, so right click, add view. Here this is a details. As I specified earlier, the view name is defined same as this action name. If we want, we can change, but now leave as it is. This eraser, leave the create a strongly typed view, and last option, create a layout or master page. Here if you read leave empty if it is set in eraser underscore view start file. So I'll say leave the let's check what is underscore view start file. So this is the file where we can globally set the master page. If you see here, this layout file, I hope you are cleared about the layout. In earlier video I explained what is layout. So layout file is used as a master page in MVC. Okay, yeah, so I was saying, if you want to specify the master page globally, and means all the views will refer the layout specified in this underscore view start file. So shared, because shared folder can be accessed by any controller, so this is a shareable file. Whenever we have requirement where we want to share the particular view, so we can keep that particular view under this shared folder. Okay, so underscore view start. So let's go to home controller again, right click, add view, and leave empty if it is set in. So we will leave, and it will refer the master page specified in underscore view start file. So let's create this. And okay, so this details view is created. Now let's do one thing. Let's create one table here. We will what I am doing, I'll show some data, dummy data here. So suppose first name, let's use this input tag. Okay, and what is the shortcut to auto complete this input? Select the input and press double tab. Again I'm repeating, select this tag input and press the double tab. Automatically it is going to complete this tag. So here we'll give the text and value, suppose Anika, and let's have one more tr td. Here suppose last name td. Okay, again input, again I'm using the shortcut input double tap text. Here let's give the tag Anika tag. Yeah, so now we are ready with this view. So if we navigate to this controller and this action, so we will be able to see this view. What I want, since this is our first view or first action which is defined in route.config, if anyone first user will open this particular view, here I want there should be a link button on which user clicks and user will be navigated to details. So how that can be achieved? In MVC we have special type of method. Those methods are called helper method. And how we can use those? HTML at the rate action link. Here as you can see we have two parameter. Actually this action link takes a 10 overloaded method, but we will be using first one. So first one is text, so go to details, because we have to navigate in action name. So we created one action, this is action, what we have to give the, and since this is a string, so let's put in double quote details. Okay, details. Okay, so now run this application. Here home dot index, yeah, let's click on this go to details. Yeah, as you can see it navigated to home dot details. If we right click and see view page source, so that action link generated the anchor tag. So even if you want we can use this anchor tag there, but I use another way by using the HTML helper. Okay, so we also define tracing here. Let's access the trace.axt. We are not able to access this trace.axt. Why? Because in route.config what we did, in RouteConfig.cs what we did, we have commented this particular line. So now if we want to access the route, the trace.axt, it has to follow this URL pattern, but we want to ignore tracing file. Let's uncomment it and now run it again. Now we will see if we can access tracing. Now how we can access? Directly put the trace.axt here. Okay, as you can see, since we don't have any tracing here, let's navigate to view and then we'll move to trace.axt. So as you can see we have some details here. Okay, different details are there, and this is mainly for tracing purpose, and this is used in ASP.NET. This is not MVC feature, but earlier also in ASP.NET web form we were using uh, trace.axt. And how we can enable? By using this tag we can enable the tracing. Okay, okay. So as you can as you saw, I created one more action, and here I showed you some dummy data using this table. But now this is a dummy data, I want to use model. I want to show the data through model. How we can achieve that? We have one models folder here. Let's right click on this. Now I'm creating a model, and then I'll fill some dummy data to show that data in view. Right click, select the class here, and suppose home view model. I have given this home view model name. Okay, let's create few properties here. Okay, if you're not aware what is model, I explained in earlier videos. So model is nothing but a class container which contains the properties, which contains the data. So this is a shortcut to create the property. Prop and press the double tap. Here we'll take the string first name, prop string, and here we'll say last name. Okay, first name, last name. And now in this let's create the class name object. What is the name of class? Home view model. Home view model. So since this particular file, this class is under this models, okay, whenever a particular class or particular file is under any folder, then we have to specify the namespace. Okay, and when you see this small blue line, it means it's giving you some suggestion. So here we can add the namespace for that particular class dot, because that is under models. Okay, or if you don't remember, you don't want to write like this, so you can click on this, it will give you suggestion, and shortcut is control dot, press control dot and enter, so it will add the namespace Anika tag models. Okay, so now we can create the object here, and in this class we have two properties. First name, let's put Anika, and last name is tag, suppose Anika tag. Now this view method, if we press control shift space bar, this is the shortcut. Let me write here control plus shift space bar. Okay, so if you want to see any overloaded method, this is the shortcut to press control shift space bar, scroll down. Yeah, we will be passing the model, so we have this third method which takes the object model. Here we can declare our model. What is the model? This. Now let's go to this view, go to view. Now we have to tell this view, or we have to define the model for this view. And how we can define the models for this view? So there is a syntax to write it, model. Okay, always remember, when you write, you'll get this capital one, model. Don't use it, we have to use this one. Then we have to specify our model, so which model we want to refer. So as let's go to this one. Okay, home view model, where does it exist? This exists in this home view model, so we have to give the full specified path. So first application name, folder, and then this name, or in short we have to use this namespace. So let's go to details, Anika tag models, then home view. When we specify this model at the top, so this view becomes strongly typed view. Now we can use the properties of this class in this view. How we can access? Now remove this hard-coded value, @model dot. So why I use this @, because @ is used for razor syntax. So first name, similarly let's move here, @model dot last. We are done. So again, always remember, this line is very important. If you want to specify the model for view, we have to specify @model, then fully qualified name. Okay, and if you're not sure what is that, go to that particular what I used F12. Okay, I used F12 to navigate there. Yeah, home, and here you can see the namespace also. Okay, now let's run the application and see if data is coming, and let's put the breakpoint also to make sure our method or our URL is hitting the same method. Yeah, so let's go to details. Okay, so this details action is hit. Let's run it. Yeah, as we can see, we have data. I think we have some invalid character there. Let's go to details. Yeah, let's remove it. And always remember, when you are working in this view, you don't need to stop the application. You can directly make the changes and you can press F5. Yeah. So this data is coming from where? This data is coming from model. So I hope you understood how I created the model. This is a dummy data. This is hard-coded values. In upcoming video, we will be fetching the data from database, and we will see how we can use models to retrieve or to perform CRUD operation. CRUD is create, read, update, delete operation. Okay, so let's move to this slide. Okay, I think yeah, so global.asax is pending, and so as I explained earlier, this register routes is a method which register the route for our MVC. And if you see here, we have one reference. This if I click on this, it navigates to application underscore start. If we go to this global.asax, what we have in this global.asax, this application start is mentioned. Global.asax is a file where we can register our global level events. Global level events this is a global.asax is used earlier used in ASP.NET web forms. In ASP.NET we were having lots of events: global level event, application underscore start, application and session start, session and application error. So here, whenever our application runs first time, always remember, when our application runs first time, this application underscore start is used. Okay, application underscore start event is fired, and under this, if you want to register any event globally or first time, then we can use this. And now we have to since I'm showing you the routing, so we have to worry about this route. Let's navigate to this register route. How we can navigate? Right click, go to definition, or shortcut is F12. So we reached this point, and where this file is, this global.asax. Okay, so what is global? This file maintains the details of details for global events at application level. In MVC, this file is very important to register all global events. And one more point which I mentioned, this event is fired only once when your application starts. Okay, and I also explained what is underscore view start. This where it exists, underscore view start. It is used to mention, or it is used to set the layout globally. Means if a particular view is not using any layout, then this will be considered. As you can see in index dot, oh okay, it is null. But if we open details one, here layout is not defined. So what happens? This details view will use the setting of this underscore view start file. Okay, and if you want to specify layout for particular view, how we can set? layout, and we can set like this only. So if we copy this and go to here, and suppose we have layout 1, so we can specify for particular view also. For now we don't require it, so let's remove it. Okay, let's go back to this slide. So till now what we have covered: understanding the route config and global.asax, create controller action and view with model, and third is important thing, MVC interview question. So let's see what question are there. So first is, what is route config? Actually it should be route config file. Yeah, what is the route config file and what is the importance of this file? So I explained route config file, it maintains the details of routing. You can explain, it has we can define the URL for this for our MVC application. It also contains this ignore route file. Okay, second one is how to ignore file in route config. So in route config, we can use this routes.IgnoreRoute, and here we have to mention the extension of particular file. Third one is what is routes.IgnoreRoute, as I explained. What is AXT extension? So AXT extension is trace.axt. Okay, and maybe another question can be asked: how to enable routing, or sorry, how to enable tracing in MVC or ASP.NET Web Form. Both are in both application, we can use the same way. So web.config, this is the way by which we can enable the tracing. Where register route method is registered. So this method is registered at global.asax. Where is the global.asax? Yeah, global.asax. And what is the method? This route config, because this is a class, this is a static method. So we can register at application underscore start. And what is the use of underscore view start? So view start file is used to set the master page globally, and in MVC layout are called master page. So let's open underscore view start, this one. What are the other ways to use the layout? So how we can set? So another way is used to set the layout in individual details. So here we can set the layout also. Okay, and what is the MVC model? So MVC model is used as a container to set the data. We can perform the CRUD operation using this model. We can retrieve, delete, or whatever we want to do from this model. That's it from this video. If you have any questions, suggestion, you can give the comment. If you want me to share the videos, if you want me to share the uh, application, this application, or if you want to share this PPT, please subscribe my channel and give me your email ID, so that I can uh, give you the access of these project as well as this PPT. I hope you have liked my video. Please subscribe, share. Thank you for watching my video. Bye.